Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Diddy has beat the Rico. Diddy has beat the Rico. So Diddy's not going to jail for life. So that's another black man spared. That's another man spared from life in prison. The jury has spoken. That's what I said from the very beginning of this. I said, let the process play through. They have what they call a justice system. The justice system, it might not work the way you want it to work when it don't work for you, like it didn't work for me, but I'm not going to sit here and say it don't, like it's perfect, but it definitely needs to be tweaked, and that's why we have the Honorable Donald Trump up there, and you see he's keeping a foot on their neck, and I'm going to say this for the record, there's no way Donald Trump is going to let Diddy do the 10 years or the 15 years that y'all want it, because the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls, they like to jump. He's looking at 15 years. He's looking at 15 years. If you said he's looking at 10, so what? Find something productive to put your time into. But let's get back to this. There's no way Donald Trump is going to let this man do 10 years in jail, because Donald Trump went through the same process that he went through, and now they both have similar feelings about the process. I've been through that process. 32 years ago, I've been through that process. I can't imagine to tell you how Diddy is feeling dealing with that and then waiting on a verdict. See, I'm happy for Diddy right now because he didn't get found guilty of the Rico. And I know when I was sitting there and they read guilty of my Rico, I knew right there everything was going to stop. Make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Unique Mecca Audio, because we spread the love over here. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and definitely hit the thumbs up. But let me get my intro going. Okay. Hey, where the fuck is the mouse? You know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We in the house. This is what it is. Like I said, Diddy has beat the Rico. When they told me, right? When they told me that I was found guilty of the CCE, right? When they told me that, hold up, yo, you know what? I'll call it. Yo, what up, son? Yo. Hey, yo, I'm on live right now, but you're in my ear in the earbud. If you want to come on and say something, I'll take it off and put it on speaker. I ain't even tell them who you are, but I just started the live. You want to say something without going crazy? Because you know what I mean? I know you got your thing, but if you want to come on, like I said, you know how I run my joint, you're welcome to come on, because you know what I mean? This teamwork. No. Okay, all right, so pull up, but I'm saying I'm going to put you, they don't even know who I'm talking to yet because they still coming in the room, right? But I'm going to put you on speakers so you can say what's up and that you're getting ready to pull up, all right? All right, I'm putting it on speaker. But you see, I respect for this, not for you, homie. I ain't even telling you who he is yet. That's how respectfully I run my joint. If somebody call, I talk to him in my ear. I don't put him on speaker and hide and record him and do all that nut ass shit. All right, now tell them who you on. What's up, family? You on the air?
What up? What up? What up? Peace and love to everybody in the room. Y'all ready?
Hello? Yo.
Yeah.
Say it again. Say it again, big bro. One more time.
Y'all already know what it is. Peace and love to everybody in the building. It's your boy Hassan Campbell.
All right.
Don't get your snap box rocked. Don't get your TV turned off.
All right, that's what it is. Yo, pull up, son. The link is in the joint, all right?
Yeah.
All right. But that's what I'm saying. That's how we eat together, and that's how everybody do what they got to do. But anyway, I can't imagine to tell you what it felt like when I sat there and they said guilty of my Rico, which was a CCE for the rat bastards. But the CCE and the Rico was one the same. They called them kissing cousins because they both carried the same amount of time with the same amount of predicates and the same amount of enhancement. So it jumps a conspiracy from 10 years to life to 20 years to life if you get caught up to be the Rico. You understand? Just so you understand. So that's why I'm trying to let you know that I lived through this for 26 years. No disrespect to the lawyers, no disrespect to the commentators, but this is outside the realm of what you're used to, because this is probably the first time that most of y'all is even covering a Rico case. That's the news reporters. So you don't even know what the Rico is, because the courts didn't even know what the Rico is. Let me explain to you why I say the courts didn't know what the Rico is. When I went to trial, they told me that they had to find me guilty of 3 predicate acts in order for me to be the leader of my Rico, right? So now they only charged me with 1. So I said, hold up. So that means I'm actually innocent of the statute, because you only charge me with 1 predicate when I need 3 predicates, and you're not even presenting 3 in the 4 corners of the indictment. I had them scramble it. You know what I mean? You see the little bastards. They all over the place. Oh, man, this is a smart one. You know? So now they get with the judge. They do what they do. And then when I come back, then they said, you know what? The jury could know in their mind what those other 2 are. I said, okay, but I don't even know what the 2 is. You tell me what the 2 is. They said, nah, but the jury would know from the testimony. I said, but the grand jury of my peer brought back an indictment and put my violations of the United States in the 4 corners of that indictment, and that's all you're allowed to present at the trial. So you must know what's in the 4 counts, and I must know. So I know how to defend myself against those 4 counts. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Now, right? So when they did that, I turn around, they find me guilty. I go to the appeal court. Appeal court said, yeah, they right. They could know in their mind what they did. So I take it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, nah, we're not even going to hear this right now, because it's not a split in the circuit. It's only 2 of y'all that ever raised this in the United States. It was me and Rayful Edmonds. That's how we all connected together, regardless how we may feel about each other, or y'all might feel about, you know, us. And you wasn't even there and don't even really have an opinion to voice. You're supposed to really just sit back and enjoy the ride. You understand? So that's what it is. Hassan just pulled up, right? So but let me finish this up real quick. Haas, you can hear me, so let me just end this real quick. You might want to come in on it. So when they did that, the Supreme Court didn't grant certiorari. Then the Supreme Court turned around and then it granted certiorari, but for Eddie Richardson. Now, it wasn't my case in front of them. It was Eddie Richardson's case, but they used my case to deny Eddie Richardson's case. So the Supreme Court had to decide on Eddie Richardson's case in order to decide on my case, because my case was the precedent that was denying Eddie Richardson. The Supreme Court then said that the 4th Circuit was wrong in my case and overturned Eddie Richardson's case and sent Eddie Richardson's case back to the 7th Circuit. But my case was never in front of them, so they used it as a technicality for 25 years, saying that they didn't have jurisdiction to hear it because the Supreme Court did, in fact, overturn my case. I was right from the time of my trial. From the time of seeing my indictment, I stuck with that one argument, and they said, you're right, but it wasn't your docket number in front of us. So you can't raise it because under the AEDPA that Bill Clinton signed into office, you only got 1 year of the time of your last filing in order to file, you know, to the Supreme Court or to another court or any other court. And then you got 1 time to file. Back in the days before the AEDPA, let's ride. You know what I mean? Before the AEDPA, they had it where under 2255, you can file as many habeas corpus as you want. You can file as many motions to the court as you want. Oh, I found a new issue. I found a new issue. I found this. I found that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm on the air, right? So you tell them you found all this, right? Now, after the ADPA, when Timothy McVeigh blew up the World Trade Center, Bill Clinton got in office and he signed in what they call the Anti-Effective Death Penalty Act. They call it the AEDPA. When he signed that in, that's when America was saying that it was too many people on death row for decades and they need to clear the books and stop feeding them. That's how real it got. So then they signed in the ADPA, said you only got 1 year after your appeal, you know what I mean, to file to the Supreme Court, and you've missed that 1 year, and then in 10 years, the Supreme Court make a ruling that affects you and you can get out of jail, you can't get out of jail because you missed the deadline to file to the Supreme Court. But an issue did come out a decade later that could get you out. But being that you didn't file back here, you're not allowed to file up here. I could tell y'all all kinds of stories. They want me to tell a prison story. Let me bring Haas up, man. You know, or Haas, you go down and give me a thumbs up or if you're ready. I'm just riding. You know what I mean? All right. All right, let's bring him up. My bag. All right. There you go. What's up, Haas? Talk to him, baby. You know, I
Good, man.
I get on my ride. You understood that, though?
Oh, definitely. It's that's why I was calling you, because a lot of people don't really understand, the dynamics that was going on, with the court case with Diddy. Like, he beat the bigger charge, but he still got 10 years on 2 accounts hanging over his head. That's a lot of time. And at Diddy's age, him being 55 years old, they smack him with 10 years, and they don't run it concurrent. They run it consecutive. That's 20 years in jail. That's a death sentence for that man.
Yeah, and I agree. But the thing is with that is, with those type of cases, they're going to run the 2 of them what they call concurrent. So if he's looking at 10 years for each one, or 10 years and 15 years for each one, then the 15 years will supersede the 10, and that's all he'll get is the one time. They call that running concurrent. But either way, like you said, he's 55 now, so he going to come home a senior citizen. You think he's still going to be partying and, carrying on? Somebody let me know what's going on, man. But
Well, the one thing that being in the penitentiary and getting up there in age, a lot of people don't know diabetes and other sicknesses start to creep up in our bodies, and eating that food in there for 10 years is definitely a death sentence. It's no joke. It's a lot of brothers in there that's real sickly. Once you hit a certain age, you can work out all you want, but you can't. You know what I mean? The plaque around the heart, you can't get that up out of there. Heart disease, heart failure. When we get in, make a long story short. With all you dudes out there, man, some of us, we still feel like, we get busy, and what I mean, we'll still put that work in, not realizing that if you let somebody trick you out of your freedom at the age of 40, 50 years old, and you got to sit in front of that judge, and you got to be sentenced by that judge, you're gonna find out the hard way that you let somebody rob you out of the rest of your life. We got to stay focused out there, stick and move. It's a lot of suckers out there that's miserable, and misery love company. And it's a whole lot of people sitting up in them jail cells just wishing that they could get one more chance.
All right. Being that you mentioned jail cell, right? This is how we gonna go. When I ride, I'm gonna pull you off. When you ride, I'm gonna get the hell off and give you the floor. But I'm gonna give you a good one, right? Check this out, House. Tell me if you could get any crazier than this, right? I just got the ADX in 1996, and they brought a white dude in. I'm even gonna say his name because I did a show about him that's on my prison chasing on Unique Mecca Audio Prison Story. Dickie Lynn, right? Dickie Lynn is the greatest man of all time to me. Dickie Lynn was caught up for his case was he was bringing cocaine over to like New Orleans from Mexico, doing our run when we was doing our thing. So these are my comrades. That's why a lot of these dudes don't understand us, because they're not from our era. You understand what I'm saying? You Zulu Nation, you original New York. They don't understand that. We talking about 4 and 5 decades ago, Hans, because I watch what's going on. They coming at you and not knowing that you official, that you walked the streets when it was dark, when there was no street lights. The biggest thing I noticed when I came home out of prison was that the buildings in New York City had windows. Yo, windows in buildings in New York? Yo, Harlem, everything was burnt out and wooden frames. Right or wrong, Haas?
Yeah, when we was wolves, man, sometimes when I look at the old videos of the old Bronx and how the Bronx used to be burnt down, like this newer generation don't even know and realize that the Bronx used to look like a third world country. It was rare. It was different, man. New York was different. The feel was different. Everything about us was different. To grow up in the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s in New York City, the crack era, the dope era, it was totally different. It did. Matter of fact, New York doesn't even feel the same as it did then. I mean, the violence is still there, but it doesn't. It don't have that. New York don't have that old feeling.
All right, stop. Hold on. Let me ride back. Yo, yo, Haas, see, me and him could kick all day because we just ride off at any topic, and this is how a conversation with me and Haas be. But I want y'all to understand this. I'm trying to take you somewhere, Haas. Where I'm taking you is that we survived the streets back in the 80s, the 90s, and I even touched the 70s, from the mid 70s. So when they look at those videos and they say, how could they have lived like that back then? You know what I mean? They need to ask themselves, how did we survive over there being poor back then? The choices we had to make back then. I see you smiling. You got the floor. Go ahead. I'm going to give it to
Nah,
you.
that song, what's that song? It's like a jungle sometimes. It make me wonder how I keep from going under. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. That was the mindset. It's
All
like a
right.
jungle outside.
But you see, I take you on a ride and on the zone. This is how real dudes do. This is content. We're not out here trying to bash nobody. We enjoying it. But what I'm trying to paint is the very people that's trying to bash us is the people that wasn't even there, and they wouldn't even have been able to survive back then. So that's why I don't respond to them, because I'm in another league over here and I'm comfortable. So that means I don't even hear what's going on over here. I don't care what's going on over here. You understand? All I care about is what's going on here and me going forward and hoping I ain't got to bust my gut. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to tell the youth. Get your life together. Don't get involved in the street. Don't come off the porch. We've been through hell. Hassan, when I first came home, there was a girl, Maylee Bellamy, you know, Miss Mary Jane. She kept telling me, oh, Hassan Campbell. And she's sending me videos, but I ain't even had time to look at it. But she was your biggest fan. That's why I put her out there. And she introduced me to you 5 years ago.
Shout out to her.
You know what I mean? Now, seriously. And then I watched you. I see how you move. And I said, damn, he putting two little pictures up in the corner and just telling little current affairs. You know what I mean? Let me follow that. But I could give him his props that I got that from Hassan Campbell. I'm not going to say I created this shit. I'm learning from my elders, and he's an elder in the game. And you got to give flowers where it's due. You know what I mean? So many of us learned so much about the YouTube from Hassan. But Hassan, you fall into the dark side, and there's a dark side, and they love it. But you know what? You love it too, dog. You love that dark side. And I'm even going to call him out. The 050, the Zip with the Drip, my man Zeke Black. You know what I mean? But Zeke give the knowledge. You know what I mean? That's my man. We need to get me, you, and Zeke up here. But, you know, 10 toes down. I mean, everything that go on. You know what I mean? That's just, you know, that's the dark side. They enjoy that. Their skin is tough for that. Sometimes they get a little tender and then they react, but it's entertainment, and we look at it as that. And long as y'all keep it, you know, righteous like that is good. Because I love to watch y'all go, especially when you go up with the kid 050. That's my man there, because he got that energy and he be popping. And you hold your own and you stand on what you stand on. He stand on what he stand on, and the people love it. But it's content. But people feed in it and say, oh, they beefing. No, they disagreeing. As men do. But at the same time, they see each other. It ain't gonna be all of that. You know what I mean? But anyway, Diddy has beat the trial. What do you think about Diddy beating the Rico and the sex trafficking and the transportation? What do you feel about that?
I feel like the whole case was a straight up lynching, and if Diddy would have been convicted of all these charges, that would have opened up a gateway for many other celebrities, many other rappers. You know, you telling me that if I decide to be a horny nigga and I want 20 females to come see me in 1 week or 1 month and fly them into my state, and that could become a life sentence in jail for me, that's diabolical right there. Then you setting the stage for women. You know, okay, whenever the feds need to open a open door to destroy somebody that they don't like, they just go, you know, through your phone contacts to all the females that you mistreated. Because where we come from, I'm not going to sit up there and act like, you know, we wasn't taught to dog women out. We wasn't taught to love no women. We was taught to treat her like a prostitute. So that's what we did. And when you treat her or mistreat her, and she decides like, okay, we're gonna have a problem, and then the feds give her an open invitation, like, nah, that's a lynching right there. That's a door that needs to be closed. It's a dangerous door. I don't think that any man should have to go to jail because You done flew a female into your state and decide to set up your cameras and have a freak off. I like to pull out my camera in my hotel room and smash and look at myself smashing. No, I don't want to see another nigga smacking on a female inside the hotel room. I want to see myself. You know what I mean? Superman, them hoes. That's what I want to see. I like to see me. You know what I mean? And that right there can cost you a nice little sentence. Like your volume out.
Oh, okay, my bad. Y'all, put it in the comments what you think about what he just said, because you already know Hassan dropped nothing but jewels. I was blessed to have him just call me out the spare of the moment. And, he came on the show and we giving y'all this, blessing to have Hassan Campbell up here. So you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls. I'm going to give him 3 seconds, Hassan. This is the way I deal with him. All right. And then we got to tell him to take that on the way out. You know what I mean? We don't even need them in here because we on some man time. But my thing right now, right, because I want to ride. My thing right now is I've been saying from the beginning of this trial, once it ended, that they have to prove the predicates. Those predicates is a mother when you're dealing with a RICO. That's what I just explained to them before you got on about how I went to the Supreme Court arguing that they had to be specific and unanimous as to which predicates that they could use to find you guilty, the CCE, because the CCE is carrying double the time of the conspiracy that only carries 10 to life. Now, because I'm faced with the CCE, now I'm looking at 20 to life. And why am I looking at 20 to life? Then they said because of these 5 elements. And one of the elements, they had 5 or more people. That was one of the arguments, right? Now they said that, I'm going to tell you all this, right? They got to have 5 or more people that they saying that Diddy control, organized, or supervise. They didn't even list any names of who they was intending to use. But instead, you'll get all these people in the comments would tell you they use Cassie, they use this one, they use that one. No, but what did the government say they used? The government didn't even list 5. So right there, if he would have been found guilty of RICO, he could have got off of that. But with the 5 or more people, they didn't rule in the Supreme Court yet if the 5 or more people portion was elements of the indictment. They only rule about the predicates being elements of the indictment. So therefore, they'll say they don't have to be a unanimity verdict on the 5 or more people. But then I will argue that, okay, they don't have to be a unanimous verdict on it, but tell me who the 5 people are without the YouTube rat bastards doing it. That's how I would have handled that in court. That's why I knew there was no way that he could have got found guilty for that RICO, because the RICO should have also, those predicates, they were supposed to list a specific incident and occasion that has happened in order to find that. And they didn't. Go ahead.
What do you think his grounds for appeal is going to look like in this case?
His grounds going to be for appeal that when he sent the money to send them there, he sent them there because they was a lover and they was in a relationship. You understand? Or they was in a relationship, or what they call nowadays in 2025 a situationship, where they had these male escorts in this situationship. So with the male escorts being involved, it's just as innocent as you flying your girl to come to you because you're at a convention in Utah. But if you and your girl like to also have a male escort, and the escort is, as we say on the street, another word for prostitution, but escorts are legal in America. So for you to hire an escort and pay for an escort to come to your hotel to bang your wife is just as equivalent for you to call a plumber to come to your new house in a whole nother state, pay his fare, and have him bang out your pipes. You see what I'm saying? That's how simple this is. But this is them trying to, like you said, Hans, they trying to bring yesterday's problem. You understand? They're trying to bring yesterday's lifestyle into today's law. This was the law in America on the streets, that people treated people just like, not everybody, but, where we on the street. You know what I mean? They're even in middle class, even in upper class. Everybody treated everybody like that, because back then it was all about looking out for self. And that's why we where we at now in America, why you have the Honorable Donald Trump in office, because what he's doing is he's looking out for the ones that supported him. You ride with me, I ride with you. That's gangster. And that's a president talking like that? I don't agree with a lot of his policies. Let's get that straight. But just for him to stand on what he stand on, he was the first one to go in Washington and tell them, I don't care about the other party. All I care about is my party, my people that voted for me, my constituents. And he won over the constituents. And even the constituents is mad at some of the things he's doing. So don't think that I'm sitting here defending him. I'm just letting it know like it is. And now we're going to ride back to that. And this way you come in, Haas, that Trump went through, the President Donald Trump, Honorable Donald Trump, went through the same situation that Diddy went through, so he knows how it feels. That's the same man that just freed Larry Hoover, who they didn't want him to touch. If Tukey was alive, he would free Tukey. Because he's his own man. He don't let the party tell him what to do. He do what his heart tell him to do. And to me, only me, not you YouTube watchers and loyal subscribers. I appreciate you and you rat bastards. Just know that I'm talking about me. I was in jail for life with no chance of parole because of the crack laws that was put out back in 1992. That President Joe Biden signed in, that put together and spearheaded, and then Bill Clinton signed off on it. Bill Clinton has since cried and apologized for taking 26 years of my life from me. I love Bill Clinton because he stood on what it is. He said, man, I made a mistake, but it cost you 26 years in federal prison. I could be bitter and say I'm mad I didn't know, but that man told me straight up, yo, I'm human. I made a mistake. I signed a bill that screwed the community, the black community's lives off, and he cried for it, but Biden never even acknowledged it. He just had a chance to fix it. The Honorable Donald Trump had nothing to do with it, went in there and started releasing us. Welcome home, Prince. Welcome home, Akbar. Welcome home, Lil Durk's father. You understand? Welcome home, Antonio White. I can keep going on all day and firing my gun. So how could I sit here and not be loyal to a man that freed me when another man captured me? Like I told my prosecutor when I came home, listen, right? Let's ride house. I'm gonna tell you how gangster it is, right? I'm gonna tell you how gangster. I'm not gonna take you off. I want you to see. I want to see your face. When I went to trial, they asked me if I had anything I wanted to say in my defense, and that's the part where you gravel. You know what that is. I had a hard childhood. Life was hard. My mother beat me. My father stabbed me. I jumped off a building. I got stabbed. I got shot. And you run all that crap. I just told the judge straight up, yo, my request is, can you send me someplace closer to home so I could further my education, so I could better myself, so that once I'm released, I could be a better family man to my children and my family and to society. The prosecutor jumped up and said, oh, Your Honor, he's a scumbag. He's the worst that ever came into the earth. If you let him out 30 years from now, they got spaceships, he'll find out a way to break the law, to steal spaceships. This is what, but yo, it's in my transcript, 93 F3D. I'm giving you my case. You know what I mean? So when he said that, now they walking me back to the bullpen, but he's in front of me and he see me behind him, right? So as I'm walking down the hallway behind him, this dude is sitting here, check it out. He's walking with this little cocky little walk. He got these little high waters on with the hard bottom shoes. And we didn't even wear them when we was out there unless we was going to a club or a party or an event. But this way he's dressing in the courtroom. So I'm walking behind him. I'm in my green jumpsuit. I'm handcuffed. I'm shackled to my waist. And he's sitting there and he stopped to drink some water. And he looked back at me and he gave me a smug look like, nigga, you through. You know what I mean? So me and him had a beef, man. You know what I mean? He just called me a scumbag, said my life wouldn't amount to nothing. That my life was a waste is what he said on the record. Go look it up. Go ahead, Oz.
But you know what, though? It's like, so I be seeing a lot of guys that did 20 and 30 years in jail and they come home and they don't have this energy that you have. They broken. How did you maintain your sanity doing all that time? To where some of these other brothers, they in there smoking K2, waking up in the cell dead. Like, how did you like really keep your sanity and come home so vibrant? Like, it's like, yo, you like an old teenager. You got that teenage energy, like you can run a mile. Your audio.
Now I'm laughing. I said, you're a funny dude. Yo, check it out, Rob. When I got locked up during the war on drugs. I knew it was a war on drugs. They told me that when they locked me up. Because they got to tell you why they locking you up. Just like Diddy, we lock you up because we feel you're a predator. We locking you up because it's a war on drugs and you sold 330 kilos in the state of Virginia alone. Say 330 kilos, that ain't nothing. And they say, no, that means it hit a lot of people. And everybody that it affected, you affected their lives. And it's a chain domino effect. And they ran through all the legal ramifications of what's going on. And all I'm thinking is, because I'm doing what they call back then, how it's called mollifying. All I'm thinking is, man, I had to do it. I grew up in the tough neighborhoods with Hassan Campbell, where we was using tires with ropes on it for our swings. You know what I mean? And when you jump off the swing, you didn't jump off on grass. You jumped off on broken bottles and crack valves and syringes when you jumped off that rubber tire with the string. Right or wrong, Haas?
Oh man, you giving me flashbacks.
No, but I just want them to feel the real. So I knew this. I witnessed this. I know at the time I did what I was doing because I was trying to feed my family was my excuse. But once I tapped into my mind, I realized that feeding my family didn't mean destroying another family. Right or wrong, Haas?
That's why it's like, my brother T Mac, shout out to T Mac, he always be like,
Hold on. Round of applause to T Mac. Round of applause to T Mac. That's the family. All right, calm down. Let Hassan finish, man.
So, he always be like, I can't stand Hassan Campbell, but I love Poppy. But what he doesn't understand is the transformation that I needed to make. I had to, like, one day my eyes really started to open and see the damage that we was causing to each other. And then I, started to reflect, like, I'm out here doing X, Y, Z, and I seen the same game destroy my father. That it took a real chunk out of me not having my father in my life and him being a dope fiend and me constantly running behind him and chasing him and trying to get him cleaned up, which he's cleaned up today. Thank God for that. It's like when you start to like become a man on your spiritual path, you start to shed ways of the old ways, like it sheds like the skin of a snake. And then you find yourself, like a fish in the water. If you take a fish out of the water and put it in a net, it suffocates. Well, a righteous man, when you walking through righteous steps, anytime you step out of the lines of being a righteous man, you suffocating spiritually. And you don't even realize that. And then you find yourself going through a spiritual heart attack. So some of the things that, we rap about, we sing about, even with the music. I love hip hop. I love the rap game. I love the gritty MOP and all that. But there's a time where I turn the radio off because I realized that frequency and that energy is not for me at that moment. You got to push it to the sides. And that's the same thing with the streets. The streets is like a domestic violence relationship. You in love with a woman or a man that just keeps beating on you. The streets is undefeated. It wears and tears you down. So when you learn that there's a price that come with the path that we was walking on, we got to leave those old ways behind us. You become an old man, a grown man. And then some people be like, yo, Hassan Campbell, you a hypocrite. No, I'm not a hypocrite, because as a father, as a grandfather, my job is to stop this generation, my nieces, my nephews, my sons, my daughters, from touching that same hot stove that I touched. We said we did this so the next generation didn't have to do that. When you love, when you know that you're doing wrong, you don't want to see your kids do wrong. You don't want to see your nieces and nephews do wrong. So my voice, along this path and journey on YouTube, I had to become the voice of righteousness, Not just saying, oh, I'm the voice of the streets. The streets don't love nobody. So when you sit up there, I'm the voice of the streets. Well, what kind of voice are you? Because there's a lot of voices in the streets that mislead the community, that mislead the youth. You have to pick and choose exactly which type of voice you're going to be. And I chose to be the voice of righteousness.
Yo, you couldn't have said it
Yeah.
any better, brother. You couldn't have said it any better. And that's where we at, that I want them to really understand that, you know, we do this because we want to reach you. We want to save you. You might not like the way we move and whatever it is that we do, but there's a lot of shit you right bastards do that we don't like. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But where we at is that we come from a time when it was different. We just shared that with you for about 20 minutes, right? So then now here you go, you speaking about a time that when you hear it, you say, whoa. You know what I mean? I could never survive back then. But you just met two brothers that did. But because they're living, it's a problem. But we're going to ride back to that. Yo, Diddy's first words to the press that BDB said was, I told you that we won't stop, we won't stop. I know Haas got something to say about that, so I'm going to give Haas the floor because I ain't going to silence you. But Haas, be respectful a little bit. Respect me a little bit. I know, all right? Speak your
Listen, you
opinion.
know, for me, I don't like the only thing that I hold on for Diddy that hurts me. It really really hurts me
I'm
when I
getting
look
ready.
at those when I look at Diddy's kids and I see, you know, them wanting their dad back in their life and the hurt. You see the hurt. You see the fear. You see the worry. Like I don't want to see no man ripped away from his family. And one thing that I believe in that God is most forgiving, most merciful. So sometimes when we do wrong, you know, like me, for example, me being in jail fighting murder cases, nigga, I tell niggas all the time, man, me being on my knees is what got me out of them cases. My knees. When people try to say, oh, I don't believe in God, well, that's good for you, my knees. And if God forgave me, he could forgive Diddy. Now, the thing about it is what Diddy does next is on him. There's a good possibility they might give him the lowest sentence and he may come home and be with his family. There's a possibility he might put in for an appeal bail and come home and fight the case from there. You know, we never know, but I can't be happy or sad for him. I'm happy for his kids. Turn your audio back on.
I said that's some real iggy shit right there. That's some real iggy shit right there. That was straight positive. And that's what I'm talking about. Nobody wished the demise of anyone. You understand? But at the same time, we must respect each other. And that's what the society is about. That's why I don't come up here. I talked to somebody last night, right, House, and they're talking, and I'm telling them that I'm traumatized, dog. I'm still on the morals that if my man got into a beef, my brother, right? And I know you probably not gonna agree with it because you probably not there either. So I'm not telling you this to agree with me. I'm just sharing the conversation so that the people hear how real this conversation is. I just did 26 years in prison. My mother waited for me 26 years. She prayed in front of a mirror every morning, holding the mirror. You know what I mean? To her, saying, God, please let my baby out of prison. That's what Diddy mom getting ready to have to do. My mom's did that for 26 years, Haas. When I went in, my daughter was 18 months. I come home, she's going on 28. I don't even know the woman who's standing in front of me. And then I'm looking at a woman that's a full-blown woman in my mind because I'm just direct. You know, she come walking out, got some spandex. I'm like, whoa, come on, ass everywhere. Yeah, you my daughter. I'm definitely not looking like that. But I'm just saying other niggas is looking like that. Because my job to see all circumference of that. So a person that say, oh, you're a father, you're not supposed to look like that. No, I'm not looking like that. I'm just looking, and it's plain as day that her ass is out and it's fat. No, you're not walking out my house with that. I came home with that. My daughter said, nigga, you crazy? I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. And she stood up to me. I love her. Your gunshots to her. My daughter stood up to me and said, nah, that's the way we dress out there. She had to put me in my place. But at the same time, she got them a little looser and gradually toned it down because I had to explain to her that you attracted attention, that you out in the mall and then someone say something to you, and then you say something slick back to them for them being disrespectful when you wearing a one-piece bodysuit that's form-fitting. You understand? You don't have no kids, no stretch mark, no nothing. And you think a man is going to look at you and not say nothing. He's going to look at you thinking, she looks like a hoe, so I'm going to holler at her like a hoe. Yo, baby, what's your name? You understand what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, come in. It depends who you're dealing with. So why put yourself in that situation and have me have to dust off my pistols to come and defend you when you could just slow down and do it right? Right?
Yeah, because what they don't understand when it comes to daddy, when it comes to a father will dust those pistols off. He will go up in the closets and get them bangers for their kids. Like we won't even second guess. When it comes to our children, we won't even second guess. You can get whatever you like. You can get the business.
See, that's what I'm talking about, right? I pulled off, take a puff. Yo, check it out, right? I'm so fly. I'm so fly. Yo, Haas, I love talking to you, dog. No, hey, yo, no. I love talking to you because, like mine, yo, very rarely do I get to do this with someone that understand every facet of my mentality. You understand? I say that because the brother I talked to yesterday, right? I'm not gonna say no names because we're not into that. I'm telling them that if somebody violated my daughter, even though my mama prayed for 26 years in the mirror, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go deal with that. And whatever the consequences is to that, I'm going to lay down and die in a prison if that's what it calls for me to defend the honor of a seed that I planted here in this universe. So if I'm not going to sacrifice my life for the honor of the seed that I brought into this universe, how could I then say I'm a man? Speak on that, House.
I dedicate my life every day where people sit up there and taunt me, oh, you don't be outside, you ain't coming outside. Like, man, I wake up and go to sleep to my children. And there's no greater feeling to that. On the flip side, I remember standing behind that jail cell when my first son was born and crying so hard. Like, 'cause this is the stories that people don't tell you when you love and you got your firstborn son and you separated and you don't know if you ever gonna see him in the streets again. I left my son at 4.5 months old. And I make it my business for my kids to know when they graduate and when good is going on, when bad is going on. You know, my daughter Aaliyah, she calls me a few times, crying. And I picks up the phone. She's in the board of bed. She in school. What's going on? Daddy, could you come get me? I'm not feeling good. Then when that phone hang up, I think to myself, I damn near be in tears myself, like I'm able to go get her. What if I was not here to answer that call? Who would be going to get my baby? Then I get to the school and I'm sizing her up. I'm looking at her. She pulled the okey doke on me, but you know what? It's all good. We going home and get some snacks. She having a bad day today. She just wanted to be with her father. In jail, you can't give him that. But imagine what I would do if you try to get in between that. Sometimes in life, you got to make sacrifices and say, yo, I can't go outside right now because I know I have priorities inside this house. And sometimes when your mans, they roll up and they're like, yo, such and such just violated. You got to tell them, you trying to take me away from my kids? Or better yet, you got kids too. What I want you to do is before you get in that car and you pull that blicky, go home, go give your mother a kiss, go give your girl a kiss, go give your kids a kiss and tell them goodbye. Nigga looked at me like, what? I said, tell them goodbye. Because there's a good possibility when we go air the block out, we never gonna see them again. Nigga gave me the dumb look because it was the realest. People don't tell you that. This is what you forget. You think that the police is not working around the clock to make sure that you never, ever come home? Think twice before you make those decisions because the things that you love, everybody ain't a deadbeat dad. Some of us was deadbeat dads by default because we went to jail.
Yo, that's so right. That they don't understand that, dude. They really don't understand that. And to me, That's what's sad, because if we don't stay focused and we don't represent that which we love, because like I said, the brother was telling me when I told him if somebody violated my daughter, I'll dust off my pistol. They said, what about your other kids? I said, but what about her or him? I have to honor that. We don't want to have to do that. So we have to teach our children not to put themselves in that situation. And that's when you know you raised the golden child. That when they go out there and a dude said, oh, damn, your joint is fat, they know, don't say nothing, because daddy will come back and kill him. You know what I mean? Don't say nothing. You know what I mean?
It's
We
crazy.
have to raise them that way. Go ahead, Haas.
It's crazy that you say that, because I remember in the early '90s when I was crazy out there. I was psychotic. I was psychotic. And my mother said to me one day, she said, I can no longer chase behind you, my son. I looked at her like, what? She said, I got 6 kids, and you are going to make me lose the rest of my kids with the things that you're doing and me chasing behind you. So I have to let you go. And it hurted to hear her say that, but I understood it, because she couldn't be out there chasing behind me, even though I didn't really want it. Just for her to say that, it hurted. But at the same time, I really didn't want her chasing behind me, because my mother felt like she was tough. And we was the generation of gunslingers. We was the generation that decided we ain't fighting no more. If you even look at me the wrong way, I'm gonna air you out. And that was our mentality. We come from an era where we wasn't running with 30 and 40 niggas at a time. You had to make your own reputation. And along the lines of doing that, you accumulated enemies. And some of the parents had to make that decision, like, yo, I can't chase behind you because you want to make me lose them. And these are your younger siblings. So we, or you next line of generation that's coming up, you got to think like that too, because some of you dudes is making decisions, right? You going out there in the neighborhood and you airing the block out, and then you going right back upstairs to that woman that nurtured you, breastfed you, and you laying in a room right next to her. And while you laying in that room right next to her, you just aired the block out. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. They coming. They kicking in your door, and they're gonna throw your mother on the floor, drag her in the hallway in her underwears, and they're gonna lock you up. You put your mother through your decision. You didn't think about your mother. You didn't even think about the fact that you have nowhere to go after you just let that burner go in the name of gang. But when you go to jail, after you let the police humiliate your mother, as time goes by, them niggas that you running with in the street, they're not gonna check on your mother. And please believe, see, Unique Mecca Audio, he made it home to his mother. A lot of niggas, that phone call, when them chaplains come to get you, and you get on that phone, and the person on the other line of that phone telling you that your mother died, you hear that scream through the whole jail. The most gangster niggas can't hold that in. All you hear is that scream. And when you hear that death scream, you already know what it is. Don't let that be you. And don't let this go over your head.
Yo, Haas, give it to you so real, man. Yo, Haas, round of applause to you, man. Fuck that. Hey, yo, I ain't even gonna front, right? This is what YouTube is supposed to look like. So you understand, this is what YouTube is supposed to look like. Me and Haas right now is trying to lead by example. I got haters that eat me out. Dude even said I got the 3 letters. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not going to bash him. I'm not going to pay no mind because he's in his lane and those are the games they play. You got people that say that, Haas is he cipher, monkey cipher. But those are the people that say what they say over there. And we're over here in a whole different lane. And like he said, we're looking out for our families and trying to move forward. And that's the only thing we're coming out our square for. As far as the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls, scratching at your back and poking needles at you. You gotta have what they call thick skin.
You know what it is, Mecca.
Talk
A
to me.
lot of these, a lot of these dudes, man, they hate the fact that I made my pain look good. Some people will sit up there and say, "Yo, we just watch you to see you crash out." Yeah, I crashed out a bunch of times in front of y'all, and God put His hands on me and put me right back in position. He said, "Peace, be still." And see, a lot of people, you got to work hard because if you don't work hard, you have no favors from the Most High. Me, I work hard, but I also pray. So when I have obstacles in front of me that I might not even have the strength to deal with this day, God gives me that extra boost. And some people don't like that annoyance, that anointance rather. You can't take away what God has given somebody else. You can't dim the light on something that God has given. When God decides to shine His light on me, you can't go get an umbrella and block out my sun. And see, this is the problem with a lot of dudes, right? When you see somebody winning, you want for your brother what you want for yourself. Unique Mecca Audio's first video on YouTube was on my channel. See, I had to take all my videos down. We had hundreds of thousands of views early in the game. I go out there and I try to pull everybody up to the stage, to the main stage. I don't hog the mic for myself. That's where the blessings come from. I will never allow sickness to enter my heart where I look at somebody, size them up, and say, I hate you because you're successful. I hate you because you got the juice. Nah, my nigga. Want for your brother what you want for yourself. And that is the key to success. Because as long as you have larceny in your heart, where you could think, especially as a man, I'm jealous of you. I'm jealous. You already defeated yourself with jealousy. You gotta set the you gotta lead by example of righteousness. You gotta lead with love. You gotta walk towards giving. Like when you give to other people, there's been times I fed homeless people on the street. Came back to YouTube, did a live, and got $5,000 in donations in one goddamn video.
Talk to him, huh? Talk to him. Round of applause to Haas. Round of mother the fall to Hassan Campbell, man. Hey, yo, Haas. Slow down. They don't know how real this get, man. They don't know how real this get. I mean, it's like I'm here. So you look at me and I'm on YouTube and you think everybody on YouTube is faking, but I'm gonna pull you off, Haas, and I'm gonna give them a quick rundown of my synopsis, maybe for my first 3 years in the federal prison, how this shit started. And I want you to get your questions because I know you're gonna think that I'm a nut. Because when I look back at it, I think I'm a nut. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep it 100. All
Yeah,
right.
my gardener just pulled up, so I'm gonna jump off then jump back on anyway.
All right. All right. All right.
Because
So
he's
come
gonna
back.
make a lot of noise out there.
Okay, all right. So yeah, hold on. You heard this man say? He said his gardener just pulled up.
Matter of fact, you know what? I should give y'all. Can I flip my camera and give y'all a little sneak peek?
Yeah,
Let me
let's
see.
see let's see how my man living after he done came from swinging on tires, jumping off the tires on the dirt floors with no shoes. Hold on, hey y'all, let me know when you get outside. I'm gonna give you the camera by yourself. Show them how you living, man. I ain't got no problem doing that. You know what I mean? And they hating. And this YouTube money. You know what I mean? Show them how we looking. YouTube money flip the other money. You know
Let me
what it
see.
is.
How can I
All right.
flip this? See what they working at over here. Yeah, I got some stonework being laid down. Yeah, a little sneak peek. It's a little sneak peek. My beautiful patches. I probably got to make a better video. Y'all already see Pepsi right here. That's Pepsi right here. My other baby, I keep her dirty, nasty. That's a little living room area over here. You know what I mean? See the beautiful view. Yeah. So you know it's crazy, right? Because I see a lot of dudes out there spend millions of dollars on their jewelry and their clothes, but they don't spend no money around the outside of their house. They might have a plain wax swimming pool, and that's it. Got to take care of home. As you can see, I give my wife plenty of flowers.
All right, all right. So that's what I'm saying. Hassan Campbell gave you a tour of his house, man. And he's giving you a little business advice all in one. That's what I'm saying. We all could learn from each other. That's why we're here to learn and elevate from each other. We must come together and unite. If we don't unite, we will separate. You know what I mean? Hey, Haas, I wanted to tell you about Dickie Lynn. I got to tell you about Dickie Lynn. Oh, yo, they get ready to decide right now, Haas, if they're going to let Diddy walk out the courtroom. You know, I got my assistant on it, so we're gonna get the breaking news, and we're gonna find it on CNN, and we're gonna do a full coverage of it because they ain't a better commentator than somebody that done been through the trenches that understand it. And that's what they don't understand. They blessed to have me who went through a RICO trial. I sat there when they said guilty, and I knew I was gonna get life, you know. Oh, but anyway, right, well, I was riding that, right? I was telling you about what I'll tell you about? I'll tell you about when I went from the judge and the prosecutor said I was scumbag. I never about to nothing because we riding. Yeah. Right? Now, I'm gonna talk about that. Then I'm gonna get to Dickie Lynn. All right, check it out, right? This is how we ride. Hold. No, I was gonna give him an example. We're talking about Diddy because Diddy's gonna wind up having to do some time unless Donald Trump get him out ahead of time, right? So we're gonna talk about my first few years in prison to show you how much of a nut I was and how we don't want you to have to go through that. That's what this about. It ain't the brag, it ain't the boast, it ain't the none of that. All right. Now check this, right? I'm gonna bring you on and off, House. Yo, I'm sitting there, right? And I just get to Lewisburg. And when I get to Lewisburg, they tell me straight up when I get to Lewisburg, soon as I come in, they take me, first they put me in a hole. After I get out the hole, they take me down, they put me in what they call quay. Quay is where you go at a table in front of all the different unit teams that they have there, and they bid on you like if you're on a slave plantation. You know what I mean? They bid on you like if they be like, they look at your record, they say, oh, well, he been in state prison twice, so he's more aggressive. So here, Johnny, you take him. He never been to prison. Here, Kenny, you take him. And that's how they decide what plantation you go on. Now, when they looked at my record and they saw I was locked up for the CCE, the 848 RICO, they said, yo, look, we run what they call a unicorn. We pay dues as much as $1,100 a month. We don't have a problem with you bringing drugs in the joint. Just don't touch our police. We need your drugs to come into prison so that we could make sure that they work because they're all dope fiends. As long as you don't touch the prison, we don't touch you. The correction officers, we don't touch you. That was the deal. You know what I mean? Puff didn't beat all the charges. We know that though, dog. But bottom line is, to beat a life sentence and to be looking, let me bring Haas up here, man. You know, I can't tell my story. Yo, Haas had to go check on the yard. Yo, look, to beat a life sentence, you understand? To beat a life sentence and wind up looking at 10 to 15, that's their cop-out anyway. And everybody talk all that about Diddy. Keep in mind, just so you understand, right? Diddy went to trial. Diddy didn't tell on anyone. All of those people that testified, Diddy could have cooperated with the government and brought them in even deeper. They would have brought other people in even deeper, and so on and so on. And that's the way that would have went. But we ain't trying to go through all that. We're just sitting back and we're enjoying the ride because it is what it is. All right? Now, just so you understand, Diddy's verdict, they're getting ready to decide if Diddy's going to be able to walk out the courtroom or not. Right? That's going to be a big decision if Diddy's going to be able to walk out that courtroom. So he's trying to get bail for, you know, until his sentencing, and then he's going to ask for bail also for his appeal until his appeal is done. That might take 2-3 years. Instead of about 2 or 3 years. I don't have Judge Auburn Sumradium, you know, not letting him in, not granting him bail for the simple reason. Thanks, Tasha Ankrum. I don't have Judge Subradian not giving him bail for the simple fact that would give him time to get his affairs in order before he serves his time. And that's also a part of how this thing go, just so you understand. Right or wrong. Yo, come on in, fam. You know? Yeah. So how's dealing with the gardeners? But, you know, Diddy right now is looking at a lot of time to y'all. The same time that Diddy's looking at is the same time I spent in the hole in solitary confinement. So my mentality is a little different towards that than many of y'all watching this, you know? And I know that I've been traumatized from the different, you know, situations that I've been through in life. Right? I've been traumatized. There's no word about it. But I try and make these videos to prevent you from being traumatized. Last thing on my mind is to have you traumatized and having to go through what I went through. I wouldn't wish what I went through on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish what I went through on the rat bastard or flip-flop wearing in public troll that told on me. I wouldn't wish none of that on them, just so you understand where we're coming from. You know, it's like, it's a death sentence. Yo, whoever's not subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Whoever's not subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell. You already know what it is. Let's keep this thing moving. All right. And definitely give me a thumbs up. Keep it moving. You already know Cash App will be on the screen. It's not on the screen, but it is what it is. And most definitely, I'm breaking it down Baba TV. All right. But I'm tell you about Dickie Lynn. That's what I want to tell you about, right? Because I got to float the house come back. Dickie Lynn. Dickie Lynn is a white dude that I met. He was bringing cocaine in from Mexico into Louisiana, you know, because he was a pilot down in Louisiana, a white dude, right? And he's working for the cartel, bringing in barrels of cocaine. I runs into Dickie Lynn in ADX Supermax with Pistol Pete and all of them is at, right? So when I run into him over there, he telling me about his case. Yeah, he telling me about his case. So while he's telling me about his case, he's telling me, you know, that he was in the FCI and he wound up there at ADX to meet me because he escaped from the FCI. You know what I mean? I'm sweating and everything for y'all. Look, so I'm good now. I'm good. So Dickie Lynn, he tell me that he escaped from jail. I said, well, how did you escape? He said, man, I was working on in the kitchen on the back dock, and I was in charge of signing in the trucks of fruits and vegetables that came in. I said, so what did you do? He said, what I did was I contacted my homies, told them to go buy a food truck for 15 grand. Right? That's what the food truck cost back then, 15 grand. You know, they said, get the food truck and get them to put a hollow hole under the bottom. And when you come, I'm going to get in that hollow hole, but I'm going to send you a fake invoice that you're delivering fruits to the prison. Is that bad or what? I got another dude that escaped that his plan will blow your mind. These are the dudes. Yo, I was around the most geniuses, right? Yo, somebody, yo, please, assisting everybody. Please remind you, tell you about the dude that walked out the prison, where they opened the prison doors and let him go. And then at the end of the day, they couldn't even charge him with escape because they let him walk out the door. That's just another escape artist that I met, right? I'm gonna tell you about this escape artist. So we talking about Dickie Lynn, right? If y'all know Dickie Lynn home now, tell Dickie Lynn to contact me. I love him to death. Now, Dickie Lynn always been cool white dude. You know, he wasn't, and Dickie Lynn never joined no skinheads, no Aryan Brotherhood, no none of that. And they respected him for being a man on man time, and that's where he's at. You know, just like Antoine White. Big round of applause to Antoine White. See, he just came to my mind. Round of applause, round of applause. Relax. Big shout out to Antoine White down there in DC. Just so y'all understand, man. There's real men that's out there. Hold on, let me answer this phone. We're gonna deal with this phone, man. Hey, yo, put the number on the screen. Let's get this phone calls going. Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up, you?
What up?
Your boy, man. I just want to say shout out that boy Diddy, man.
All right. Talk to him, nigga. What's up?
Man, listen, man, I don't care what you think he did. He done beat them folk, man. Shout out that boy Diddy, man.
Talk to him again. All right, talk to him. Diddy done beat him.
Man, shout out, hey, man, I got much love for you. You probably don't know who this is, but it's the same guy. You know, I know you dealt with cash all your life. It's the same guy that helped you set the Apple Pay up that day, man.
Oh, yo, my man. Yo, my man taught me. No, hold up, stop. Let me tell him how history. My man called me on the phone, don't even know him. And he said, man, I ain't got cash yet, but I got Apple Pay. I said, man, I ain't got none of that crap. I don't know how to use it. He said, yo, come on, homie, I'm going to show you how to use it. He's showing me how to set up an app to accept money that he's giving me. He went the extra mile to show me how to set it up to accept it. Round of applause to him, man.
For sure, man, for sure. But everything I'm looking at you now, listening to you.
Hold up.
And guess what?
What?
I'm finna hit you on that Apple Pay, man, because you're a real
All
one.
right. That's what I'm saying. All right, homie. All right.
All right, man.
All right. Yeah. But that's what it is, man. You know, we keep it 100 here, man. Yo, what up? You on the air? All right, that's what it is. So that's what it is. Nene, call in. Y'all, I'm trying to get my daughter to call in. If you can't call in, that's on you. I be trying to help my daughter get $1, and she's sitting here. No, go on to YouTube. Listen, man, go on to YouTube, look in the comments. You'll see the link to join the show live. I'm hanging up. Bye. Yeah, so that's where we at. Yo. Hello? Too many calls coming, John acting up. Hold on. Phones ringing. Hey, God, they were going where? All right, let's get this thing going. Yeah. Hey, y'all, can you believe that there's people outside the court down at the Diddy trial right now as we speak, throwing baby oil, celebrating? Yo, they actually went down to the Diddy trial with baby oil and they celebrating. Yo, who this? Where you calling from? Oh, it's ringing. Hey, yo, they down there at the Diddy trial slinging baby oil. How could you get any better than that? Somebody tell me what's going on with that, man. They down there swinging baby oil. You know? Let's get to some of these comments. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, turn your TV down, sis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what you got to say about the Diddy joint? We here listening.
Well, you know, I was sitting here looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself how it's really hard for a black man to really beat the system like he did. And I'm not saying that way. I don't have any judgment towards P. Diddy, but the machine he seemed to whip today. And you don't see that. It's not common that we as a people beat the machine. And I'm kind of glad for the brother. I hope he get help, though, for his other things that's going on in his mind. Because nobody talks about that. You understand what I'm saying? He got a lot of stuff going on. And we don't look at that inner person. Because the man is you go up against the machine, when you go up against the system, and he only went right, he made these people gazillions. And though he was a billionaire, he made a lot of people a lot of money. And it seems like they just want to put us in our place. Well, we don't have a place, we have a voice. And for that, I'm excited about.
That's what I'm saying. Now, that's a powerful sister talking to you. And that's what it is, man. We have to stick together, man. They had the verdict. Everything that Diddy was accused of, they brought. The evidence they had. Everything else is just YouTube speculation. And I'm telling you, I got Diddy walking out that courtroom to mother effing day. Watch what I tell you. Judge Subramanian is going to give him his chance to go home and get his affairs. This man got $1 billion. They didn't get to touch the $1 billion. So where do they go from there? You know what I mean? You tell me. Right?
They all right. They all right giving you the money, sir, as long as you can be the house nigga, excuse my vernacular. But, you know, I would prefer to be the field hand than the house nigga. And I'm no disrespect. You know, I can respect people because you're in control of yourself when you don't need everything that the master have. And that's sometimes we fall victim to that. See, we was all right as a community. You know, we knew how to love each other. We knew how to feel. You know, we was at a situation like you're probably around the same age. I'm in my early 60s, and we knew how to go get it. And our family stuck together. You know, we knew how to do some things. We didn't know we was poor, sir, until somebody told us, because we were loved. We understood family and morals and values, and we understood loved more so than anything. But we didn't know we were broke. Yeah, we didn't live in big houses. Some of us was raised in the project, but Miss Blue or Miss Genevieve, she saw you doing something, you can believe she was going to tax that behind. You know, that's how we lived, and we raised up, and we had respect, and we loved one another. But when we tried to be like the master, and no disrespect, we kind of lost it. And so sometimes when we get lost out of there, we don't leave them. It's at that time we know they lost, so we got to kind of rally back around and bring those who are lost back into the fold. So I'm glad, and I pray that Diddy does get the help he needs, because the man needs help. And, you know, I just want to add this. All these women who were a part of that, the things that they were doing, they knew what they were doing, sir. You know. You're a grown woman. If you want to take a part of something, you will, or you would have been said something if it wasn't about. You're not even going to these situations because you know exactly what it is. But money makes us change, and money. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sis. I appreciate that. All right.
No problem. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, so now let me go back, right? Let me go back right here. I think maybe I need to explain this, right? Let me explain this here. This is Diddy's verdict, right? This is Diddy's verdict. He was found guilty, not guilty of count 1, racketeering conspiracy, and then count 2, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, was not guilty, but they got him on transportation for prostitution on count 3, and then they got him on sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. He was not guilty of that, but he was found guilty of a second count, which is called a substantive count of transportation for prostitution, which is the same count as count 3. That means it's 2 different dates and time and 2 different occurrences. So by law, technically, that's all they were supposed to be able to use. If he would have been found guilty of those, that's why the verdict was so quick to come back on the RICO, because the substantive counts that was charged, which is 3 and 5, the burden of proof was not met by the government, so therefore the jury acquitted him of count 3 and 5, which is the same violation of the same statute but a different time and date. That's the way in the predicate acts in the RICO, they were supposed to list the time and dates for those 34 witnesses that they was yelling that they had against them. You can't say you're going to use anything from their testimony because they testified about 50 different instances. So how do you know which one are you zeroing in on? Which one do I appeal if I say that you zeroed in on the wrong one? How do I know what you zeroed in on? Unless you list it and you chronologically list it by the instances, by the violations, or how I violated the statute. And yeah, but it's really the same because that's just a interpretation. That would have only been one. You know what I mean? That would have only been one. They found them, guilty on those two, but that's one that could have been used for a predicate. So obviously they couldn't find another predicate off of the list of 10. You understand? All right. And then it's something else in the RICO that they didn't agree with in the first place for them to turn around and them to come back and even look at the RICO after they did that. Because I know even though it may sound contradictory, because I know y'all don't really understand what's going on, that those two separate instances that he was found guilty of, to use it in another light, they could turn around and say those are two separate counts. So those are the two predicates that was met in the RICO. The count 3 and count 5, because those are two separate incidents, two separate dates and time that we've been specific on. So those are the predicates. So therefore, now it leaves it that maybe the jury found him not guilty of the RICO for other reasons other than that falls into the sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. You see where I'm going at with this? I know it's confusing. Now Puff need to be concerned about concurrent. Puff don't need to be concerned about that, because the law is they always make it concurrent unless for extraordinary circumstances that you just a nut that they want to stack your time. But Puffy don't even have a criminal history. You know what I mean? He ain't never been in jail. You know what I mean? Probably never been arrested other than a speeding ticket. He ain't even get a drunk freak off ticket. You know what I mean? He didn't get a drunk freak off ticket. So therefore, when he go in, they're gonna run that concurrent. So whatever, and the two of them carry the same amount of time. I think it's 10 years. So even though like the news would blow it, Puff Daddy looking at 20 years. No, he's gonna get 10 years. End of story. Nothing about it unless he go in the courtroom and tell somebody him to go kick his butt. Now, Baby all owes Diddy a check. Word is born. How many of y'all, right? Put in the comments, how many of y'all went out and bought some baby oil since you was on this trial? How many of y'all went out and bought your own, little supply and stash of baby oil thinking that it might be going out of business so you can sell the bottles on eBay? Because that's the way my mind worked, right? Yeah, I'm going to tell on myself. I went out and bought a bunch of baby oil. I said, man, they might shut baby oil down after this. They might go bankrupt, so I'm going to need my baby oil. I can turn around and sell each bottle on eBay at an auction. It might take 10 years. It might not happen. All right. Basically, he was convicted of going to get hookers. That's a low court charge, not a lower court charge, not a federal charge. Exactly. That's a state charge, not a federal charge. Or district charge, like jaywalking. How many people you seen on those YouTube channels where they run and grab dudes for trying to buy hookers? You know what I mean? Because they talked to one hooker and then met a dude that was a lookout for the hookers. And then he talked to him and get him involved, to say, yo, when you see this hooker, let me know. Here go my number. Call me. I'm in love with her. I can never catch you at the right time. And then he sees somebody else out there. And he said, man, I've been out here waiting on them. Stalking this girl. Waiting on this girl, but she ain't come out. So, yo, hooker, buy me a hamburger. That's the second person worker for him right there. The one that's going to tell him when the hooker come, the one that get the hamburger. And then there's another one that come and say, yo, let me know if the police come. Just tap on my car so I know to wake up. I'm going to take a nap until dude let me know. That's 3 people. And they can play these little games all they want. You can make it into anything. Unique told educated everyone on Rico, and Time is told that he was right. Now listen, thank you. I've been told y'all that they can't get him found guilty on the Rico because of those predicates is a hard mother to beat, and he got lawyers like Brian Steele on there. Mark Acavellino, however you pronounce his name on there. His daughter on there. You know what I mean? DJP, good looking. It means somebody respect the hustle, man. As Senator Mark Agonifilio will argue the history of the racist undertones of the Mann Act. Yes, because if other people got out on bail on the Mann Act, that means Diddy should be able to get out of jail on the Mann Act, not be kept in jail because he's a rapper or a hip-hop mogul. And that's what Mark Agafilio is going to be arguing. So you can't get better content than this, man. I need to turn this on. I need to know how much is in the back. I'm even going to lean over and make y'all wait. You know what I mean? I'm going to let y'all know how many people in here. We're going to be on like an hour and 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Hold up. Yeah. Hold up. Phone ringing. All right, let's go. Where you calling from? What's your name? Let's go.
Hello?
Yeah, what up?
What's up, man? What's up, Unique? This King, man.
What up, King?
I ain't making no noise, man. What you got going?
Now, we talking about the Diddy joint. They out there throwing baby oil in front of the Diddy trial celebrating. Instead of popping bottles, they squirting baby oil. Johnson & Johnson owe Diddy a check, man. Yo, one of my subscribers say Johnson & Johnson owe Diddy. Who would they put that back up there? Johnson & Johnson owe him a check. You know what I mean? Yo, I even went out and bought damn baby oil. I'm figuring I could sell it on eBay because they were going to go out of business because you know they were going to go at them. Or they might run out of stock. I want to be the last one with that bottle of baby oil. You know what I mean?
Hey, man. Hey, boy. And look, they wanted off. They wanted some of that paper, man.
Nah, they ain't getting no paper off. No. The lawyers got the paper and all that. But what they but what they really wanted was just to humiliate him, which they did. You know what I mean? Larry Love. Thanks for the super chat. What's up, family?
Absolutely, man. He kept coming with that. When he started, I think they came for dinner when he started that black empowerment, man. He started talking like that, trying to group up and everything. I think that was their strategy to let them know, man. You gonna stay in your place, man. He kept saying black power this, black power that. They ain't seeing that part. I seen that strategy. You know they groups of people got further worse stuff going on out there, man. They ain't really caring about what he had going on, but he started talking. You know, in that empowerment rant, I was like, man, that was really they hit on him. That was my perspective on that situation. He kept talking like that, talking about doing this, black people need to do this and collaborate in different natures. And he got the power to do it. They shut him down, man. That's how I feel, you know.
Yeah. Hey, yo, check out somebody's Larry Love, right? He said on a comment, Diddy beat the feds into a hooker charge. All for the black man winning. I don't like some stuff Puff did, but that's personal. He spanked the feds.
Yeah, all the weird shit, man. You know, nigga ain't with none of that. But you know, their strategy is deeper than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I seen you on Hassan up there chopping it up, man. You got $2 on the board.
Yeah. You already know. All right.
Respect, man. You still online?
Yeah, we're online. They listening right now. I told you that.
Oh, I'm live in effect.
You live in effect. So you want to give a shout out? Do what it is. BJ Brucey B, DJ Kingy King.
No question, man. I'm online with a real one, a real Don Daughter. You heard?
All right. That's out.
Man, I just want to call and tap in, man. I ain't know you was still alive though, but yeah, no question, man. Respect, man.
All right.
Respect, bro.
All right. That's what's up.
All right. That's a lot.
All right. Salute. See, that's what I'm saying. Everybody know we keep it real over here at the Mecca, man. Put the number up on the screen, man. Somebody want to call in, man. Let me see. Buck the World. I just told you the guideline, effer, as a first offender, he cannot get 10. He did. He will be home tonight. You plantation bucks. That's what I'm saying. You know, yo, we'll put that back. Who was that, man? I like him. You know what I mean? He might have said a little aggressive, but he said it right. Put that back up there, man. Where my man at? I'm trying. They said there are guidelines for first-time offenders. He can't get 10 by law. He did that. Nah, that's not it. Yeah, I like this dude. He just said some real ish right there, man. Y'all need to really pay attention when I talk. I had to survive this and come back here to y'all. Tyson Garcia, he can't get 10 by first-time offender law. Did he be home tonight? Talk to him. You know what I mean? I've been telling them there's no way you're going to get found guilty. Like I said, they thought I was going at Bruce Rivers. No, I wasn't going at Bruce Rivers. I was putting Bruce Rivers' statement in the correct perspective because he was wrong when he said they could grab a predicate from here, grab a predicate from there. All that shit sound good, but I'm not going to let nobody come up here and deceive my people, man. We're not going to do that. We definitely not going to do that. And I don't care how much law school he went through. I went through criminal law school where I had to eat, sleep, and itch that god doggone law in order to get out here to talk to you. Diddy said, if F the plea and beat the feds, and the feds cannot touch him, his money. All right, that's what it is. All right, hold up. We got Juanita in the house. You ready? Come up, Juanita. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. You know what I mean? I can't see you. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. All right, what's up, family? Who this? Where you calling from?
It's your boy Big Boosie. It's your brother. What's good?
Man, just come tap in real quick, son.
I'm calling the number now.
All right. No, I'm saying you could come on the live. I got the live up, so the link is in the comment. My daughter just coming in, so come up here and holler at Whitney.
The link is in the comment. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in right now again, just for you. You already know.
All right, say no more.
All right, let's go. Let's keep it moving. There you go. Nene, what up?
What up, Daddy? I can't believe it, but I could believe it. This shit crazy.
Huh? You know?
Yeah,
So,
look at my twin.
You know how we do. Hey, y'all, so you tell me, what do you think about the Diddy trial? The verdict? In your own words, what do you think about it? How do you feel it? You don't have a feeling yet. You're going to wait to see how the rest of the world feel it. Because that's what a lot of you young people do. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot, even though you my daughter. Come on and come back in if it's frozen, because you ain't saying nothing like a deer stuck in the headlights. Hold up, baby. Who this? Where you calling from? 1 second, baby.
All right, it's Mel from out of Brooklyn. Unique. What's good, bro?
What's good, family? You all right?
I'm trying to look at, you said a link is in the comment section?
Yeah, look in the comment section. I'm putting it in now. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Or all the way. It's definitely all the way to the top. It's in there. All right, hit the link. Let me get back with this. Hold on. Because I don't like to slow my show down and slow my people down. I got my beautiful princess on the phone. What do you think about that? Or you waiting to see what the rest of the world say about the Diddy trial before you give your personal opinion? You gonna talk or cat got the tongue? Yeah, it looked like you frozen. You might have to come out.
That's why I'm like, who you talking to, me or him? I'm trying to catch up.
No, I'm talking to you.
Right,
I'm trying to get you in.
I'm surprised that his ass got off, but I ain't surprised. That's the problem. Because there's a lot of the charges that I felt like didn't even go with each other. So I'm glad that he did get his ass off, though, because them kids need him, though, too. And the shit was a little too crazy. And a lot of things that he's doing, everybody else is doing, it just wasn't publicized.
Yeah, that's definitely right, because rock and roll has been doing it. Everybody wants to be a rock and roll star, rap star, so they can get the women and do what they got to do. Who that, baby boy?
Yeah, you already know. Look, he won't come in and say,
baby boy. Where baby boy at? Dig up my baby boy.
You know he won't come and do an introduction. Look.
All right, that's my grandson. I call him baby boy. I got him in training. He's 7 years old. I don't need to be with no male child until he's 7 years old. That's when he's gonna remember. I remember everything from I was 7. So all that crap with your mama from 1 to 6, you deal with that. I got you when you turn from 7. I'm gonna make you into a gangster, but a legal, professional gangster. There's a difference. You know what I mean? Now, let's bring my man Bootsy up. He looking too laid back, though. Put your camera right. You like you laid back. Let's ride. All right, there go Bootsy.
Let me get in position. What's good, man? What's good?
Right. Turn the camera sideways so you take the whole joint, son.
Yeah, this a beautiful day, man. It's a beautiful day. For real. It's a beautiful day.
How you feel about it? I want you and Nene. I'm gonna get off, let you and Nene talk. I want to see what you young people think about this, because I've been going a long time and I'm on some O.J. Simpson time. I don't give a crap if he was guilty or innocent. I feel he should have been found innocent. I don't give a crap. That's just where I'm at. You know what I mean? Because I'm for my people. I'd rather deal with him and whoop his ass. You know what I mean? My damn self than throw to the wolves. But anyway, Larry Love, good for the super chat. He caught the charges. A lot of people got law, as a lot of people gotta operate different. Now I'm still connected. Pay attention to what's next. Take that. Nanny, put it on mute to get off the screen if you're gonna do all that. Tell baby boy sit his
That's what I'm telling him. Go turn that off, Josiah.
All right, we don't do that. Get it right, baby boy. You're grown up now. Granddaddy talking. All right. Now, what y'all think about it? I want to hear what you got to say.
It's
about
big
the
for
verdict?
it's big for our culture, for our black men, because the government was trying to test the waters by taking another powerful brother down in front of the world. And if they would have got away with it, they would have started handpicking and giving away to Rico like Oprah giving away cars. You got a car.
Okay, now.
You feel me?
You got a Rico, you got a Rico, you got a Rico. It was not even necessary. Like, come on, stop it. I believe the same thing though. Like, he needed to be found innocent, because at the end of the day, a lot of the things that he had up there, a lot of people are already doing. They just ain't publicizing. We got a whole bunch of white men. I ain't trying to be funny, but we got a whole bunch of white men that do that is publicized, and where they at right now, still walking free, making their money.
Hey, yo, you know what? I'm gonna call Gene Deal ass right now so I can tell him, yeah, nigga, we beat him, so he can talk shit. Let me call Gene Deal ass right now.
Yeah.
Hold up, because you know he was the one been spearheading this. We not going for that, Gene. You know what I mean? Where's that? Oh, Gene.
And Juanita,
Yeah.
Abercrombie and Finch got the same charge. It's quiet for them. We don't hear nothing about them.
You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about, though?
Facts.
Because they trying to make it for the black people to be the ones that's the shame in doing it. But at the end of the day, the white people been doing this before we even came about. Trying to even think about any of it.
Hey, y'all, I'm on the show. I'm putting you on speaker. You can hear me? Huh?
Yeah, I'm on the plane right now. What's up?
All right, I just want to let you know Diddy beat the Rico charge. Nah, 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 nah.
What that mean?
Yeah, Diddy beat the Rico. Huh? Gene Deal, come on, son. You said all this, he was gonna get it. I just called you, let you know Diddy beat the Rico. Yeah, all right. Well, see, he on the plane, you can't hear him, but I want to be the first. What happened? Huh?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm teasing you that Diddy beat the Rico.
What the fuck do I care what he beat?
You wanted him to get locked up for life.
Later.
No, you said that, nigga. Did I ever say that?
Oh, all right. I mean, the way.
Did I ever say that?
Now, yo, they putting in the comments that for me to let you know that he. God, they said to let you know that he beat the Rico, man. So I'm letting you know, man.
Okay, he beat the Rico.
Why you sound sad and I'm so happy?
Right.
Why you sound sad?
Nigga, I don't know what you talking about. I ain't sad, bro. I don't give a shit.
All right.
How about that?
All right, we'll keep it. We'll keep it 100. Just know that, just like OJ, he beat the system.
I've been flying. I've been flying for 12 hours.
Well, where you going? Where you going?
With the jet.
Where I've been and where I've been going through, this fucking airport shit is fucked up.
Yo, stop cussing, man. Dang, stop cussing. Stop cussing.
They had me. All right, okay. They had me go from Fort Lauderdale to Charlotte. Now I'm in.
Yo.
It's that plane.
Yeah. But that was Gene Deal. You know I had to call Gene Deal and gloat, let him know what time it is, Boosie.
I know already.
He wasn't gonna get caught up on that, man. Y'all tell how y'all feel about that.
I was waiting.
Hold on, Gene back. Hold
if you was gonna holler at Gene about that.
Hold up, Gene back. Hold up. What happened, Gene? He must be flying through a turbulence.
Yeah.
I'm watching another channel, and an officer told someone he's coming out. Hell yeah, he coming out.
So if OJ can get off, they better let Diddy off. That's all I'm going to say, right? OJ was the first black man to really take the exclusive and get off, so they need to let this one off.
Well, let's go deeper than this. If Abercrombie and Finch got the same charge around the same time Puff got the charge, and they got a bail and they home chilling, he definitely need to be coming home.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Yo, let me tell you what the homie got to say. We got him in. I'm gonna pop off. Y'all handle it. Hey, Boosie, run the. Matter of fact, Juanita Mecca Audio, take over the show. I'm gonna step off. Let him see how you run the show. You got two guests on the show. All right,
let's go.
Let's go. Juanita, you in charge. Show them why they should come to your YouTube channel.
First, number one, come to the channel because that's what we told you. So you're going to do what you was told. Didn't your mother ever tell you, listen to your elders? Well, listen to your elders and do what you told. And like, subscribe. Juanita Mecca Audio, show the love. And you already know I'm always going to hit you with the tea. Now, I want to hear from who's this, Mel?
Yeah, this is Mel.
All right, Mel, what's going on? How you feel? What's your thoughts about
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I just want to, this Mel from out of Brooklyn.
Look, Brooklyn in the house. Get it.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here. So happy for my man Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Another win for the black community. Look, man, It's a video out that I watched. I got a YouTube page that I want everybody to tap in. It's Mel.718. Please go watch it, subscribe to it, hit the like button. But anyway, Diddy was speaking about black empowerment, starting a black Walmart, right? And right immediately after that, all these allegations started coming up about him. See, and I listened to a few podcasts for the last couple of days, and it was one podcast, I don't remember the name, but watch this. Let me just explain this real quick. You ever you know when you bet on a football game or a basketball game, you're betting for the team to maybe win a cover point spread, things of that nature. Okay, so on this particular podcast, the guy was betting, willing to take a bet that Diddy got found guilty. Now, this is a black man that was willing to take a bet that another black man goes to jail. I mean, what the hell have we come to as a people? This is embarrassing. It's ridiculous. And I'm just so happy for Diddy. I hope and pray that he walks right out the courtroom today, man. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
But look, you know how many black people don't like to see other black people get ahead?
That's
on my
right.
case, when I was fighting my shit, I had a brand new black prosecutor. Man was darker than me. My judge was Jewish. You understand me? I went home. As soon as I went home, motherfucker, a week later, that motherfucker prosecutor, he
We lost her.
And look at this. Let me just share this last little point.
I didn't lose her. I took her off. Let's say that right. I took her off. Now I needed to slow it down. Them people not ready for the real like that. I mean, we know you know what time it is, but you got to give it. It's like you giving a plant too much water, you could drown it. If you give it too much sunlight, you could burn it. So you got to tone it down. We understand what's going on, but right now we want to keep it real so we don't get sidetracked by a rat bastard or flip-flop wearing in public troll coming in trying to twist it up to make this about race, because it's not about race. It's just about sticking together as a people, whatever race you are. Let's go. And we all right now as Americans, we doing what we got to do.
This, Unique?
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible for him to walk out of the courtroom today?
Yeah, he's coming out today. He's gonna listen. He's definitely gonna get a sentencing bail. Round of applause.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Oh! Listen, relax, y'all, relax. Listen, he's gonna get an appeal. He's gonna get a sentencing bail where he'll be out till his sentencing. He's definitely gonna get that. Okay. But then now he's gonna also apply for an appeal bail. That the judge, he's gonna say he's gonna wait until the day of his sentencing or after his sentencing. But the judge is gonna look like it. He's gonna look at like, okay, appeal might take 2 years. So he's asking to go home for 2 years. The public might not want that right now because there's a lot of people that don't feel like how we feel. You understand what I'm saying? Right, so therefore, the judge is gonna say, all right, I'm gonna let him out for 2 months until his sentencing.
Okay.
So he will be sleeping in whatever bed he chooses to tonight. Let's hope that he don't do a freak off. You know what I mean?
Listen, I hate to see, you're right, Unique, but I hate to see any person, whether black or white, go through the system. I just got released from the federal system for doing 18 years straight. I went to trial, so I understand the pain of going through that. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy. So I'm happy for the brother. And
yeah, especially for something they're not charging you with. That's the worst thing. And it's doing it in public, in front of our faces. And it's showing that this is what was going on before all these cameras and podcasters was able to walk in that courtroom with cameras.
Hold up, Boosie. Let's speak on this comment, right? Let's talk sensible to Mr. VIP 317. I don't give a crap who Diddy messed over. They messed over me and gave me 26 years, and I'm not mad at that. People do what they have to do to elevate their career. That's a part of life. When you step into an arena and you get into a field, you need to do your homework. That means you study the craft and you know what you're worth. If you don't know what you're worth, you didn't do your homework, you didn't do your staff, and then you sign a bad deal, you didn't get effed over. You effed you over because you didn't study. So anybody that feel that Diddy effed them over, they should have gotten it right. It's your fault. You your own man or woman. Don't get mad and then say, I want to sue him. I don't like him. He this, he that. You know, all this crazy stuff. And we heard he's a cold freak. We heard all that. I'm talking about, we heard about piss. We heard about everything other than feces. You know what I mean?
And
I mean,
everybody
thank God.
they just ain't publicizing that damn thing. Stop.
You know, but no, but the point I'm making is everybody is his own man. If that man don't study the field and the business that he's getting into, that's his fault. I studied the field and the business that I got into when I got locked up and called a federal charge. I went to the law library, studied the law, and fought my way out. So
Facts.
all these people that feel like Diddy screwed them over, that's your damn fault.
That's the purpose of contracts, and y'all
Thank
negotiate.
And lawyers.
Facts.
So if your lawyer screwed you over, if you paid for a lawyer, if you signed it without a lawyer, then you screwed you over. And that's no disrespect to you, Mr. VP. I just wanted to keep it real. How do you think a man make $1 billion without signing the best contracts? If the best contract means giving you the low part of the end, and you over here, or you gonna take the low part, or you gonna take the high part? And we know you shouldn't take advantage, but bottom line is, if you didn't study, I'm not taking advantage, because you taking advantage and putting yourself to a disadvantage by not studying the laws of this contract to know what to sign into. Am I right or wrong?
That's a
right.
fact.
You're right.
All the way right. Because if
Boosie joint jumped off. You see what they said? That Diddy's first joint, you know it's gonna get millions of views. Bottom line is he will be home tonight, so be on the lookout. We definitely gonna do another joint. I just wanted Juanita to come up here. Yo, Juanita, you know we
like
got
somebody said in the comments, he gonna be Diddy dancing, right?
Yeah, let me see.
That
I'm
nigga
gonna
gonna be
refresh
stupid when he
this.
get out.
Hey, right now, as we speaking, we got 10,200 people in the building. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and most definitely hit the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you just subscribe and hit the the notification bell, and definitely check out the merchandise. I'm gonna put the link on the screen where you could get the Unique Mecca audio to shut the F up and all that. And you can scroll at the bottom, or I could text it on the screen, but it's definitely down in the joint. I'd rather you see it on the screen. So let's go where we at. So Juanita, what you need to do, the address to the merchandise is on the bottom of the screen. Don't forget to check out our merchandise, right? Mecca audio merchandise, you know, and you know where to get it, the link coming up. But Juanita, they want me to interview you about what your time was like in prison.
I hope if y'all listen to the story, y'all people tell your peoples don't make the same mistake I did to avoid it, because it was not a damn fun catwalk. You understand what I'm saying?
I know that.
Definitely wasn't. So I hope y'all take the heave and actually listen to it and don't do the same things I did, because I was shell shocked, but I handled it like I was supposed to, because I had no choice.
All right.
You know?
And that's what it is, you know? So tell them where you're channeling that again, my brother, so that we can get some people over there. We got 10,000 people watching you. I'm going to get the hell off the screen and take my beautiful daughter off. But I got to take my ugly ass off.
But y'all better like, subscribe, hit that bell. You already know. Juanita Mecca audio. Don't just watch the videos. Subscribe to the videos. Hit the bell for the video and like the videos. You heard?
That's right.
Tell them your channel, where to find you. That's why I got
Mel,
I'm giving you your shout out.
MEL.718.
And that's his Cash App on the screen. If you like the content, donate. If you don't, leave. If you ain't got $1 to donate, at least hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell. But the like button, notification, subscribe, all that is free.
MEL.718.
Tell him again. I ain't hear you. What?
MEL.718.
You see, I make sure my man get it joined across. My man, the government can use coercion by telling, Cassie and Jane Doe that they either testify or get charged, but it's a crime if anyone else uses coercion. Cassie got 30 million. He can beat me for 1 million. Oh man, yo, you see, that's how real it get over at Mecca. He said, they got 30 million. They can whoop my ass and give me 1 million. You know what I mean? Drag me down the hallway for 1 million. Yeah, how many of y'all would take 1 million out to take a puffy ass whooping? How many of y'all would take 1 million out for a puffy ass whooping? You know, let's get that on. Let's get that in there. All right,
man.
Put it in the comments. You know,
might have a lot. Might take that unique.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yo, Puff money is safe, and Puff coming home. Salute to Real that supported Puff. Rico is for the mob, not for black music moguls. Ooh, that was deep. That was.
I mean, that is why it was created for, right? The mob, right? Unique.
Yeah, you know. Yo, I never in a million years. I've been through this Rico and all that. Never in a million years would I think that they would charge a man for having sex as a Rico.
Wow. Crazy.
That's why I kept telling them, yo, they had a lawyer go up there, right? It's not disrespect them. They had a lawyer up there, Bruce Rivers, right? I watch him all the time. Great show. Go check out Bruce Rivers, right? Nothing against him. But he went up there saying that, oh, for the predators, you could grab this, grab that, grab this, grab that. Then Bruce Rivers had the nerve to say he just tried a RICO case last week. I guarantee you if he tried a RICO case last week, whoever it is got convicted if that's where he went in there thinking. Because that's not the law. You got Richardson versus United States, 143 LED 2D over on page 816 is where the case started. I know this by the back of my, I would never forget these cases because this is how I got home. Right, and then here it is, Diddy face the same thing I'm facing, and I'm going to sit here and let a man come up here and say something false about what I just fought to have the world thinking that if you get caught up that they could just grab a crowd. I can grab a predicate here. I can grab a predicate there. I take that predicate. I take that predicate. No, it don't work that way, big bro. At all, it don't work that way. You know? Let's get Big Bootsy back up here.
So.
Hey, y'all, you know what? Look at the screen. Yo, Rev offing it up, right? Go Robo, right? Yo, he said that right. Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if Cassie hitting him up right now. How many of you think Diddy gonna get back with Cassie? Keep it 100. How many of y'all think Diddy gonna get back with Cassie?
I doubt it.
Now, we know he ain't supposed to, but how many think his muscle is that soft and their chemistry was that strong?
I doubt that.
I doubt that, man.
Yo,
I don't know.
Put it in the comment. Let's see. Yo, the test of time would tell. I want to see what happened when Diddy. We're going to see what happened with this. Big shout out to my man, Carlucci. You know, Carlucci, he been holding Diddy down the whole time. Nobody, that's what you call a friend. That's what you call a brother. I'm honored to have raised him and had him in my embrace for a minute for us to, you know, take these journeys into life. And he went the legal route when I continued to stay the legal route. But I made sure I told him to stay the legal route, and he'll tell you himself when I bring him up here. Because we get ready to turn this YouTube thing out. We just keeping it 100. Like I said, man, this family, Bootsy, tell them where you at and where they can find you at. Yeah, hold up, Bootsy. Could you take over for a minute so I could take 2 puffs of my black amount?
I got you, my brother. You already know.
Yeah.
My daughter panicked under pressure. You know what I mean?
I'm assuming Unique, it's no mandatory minimum for the charges that he got found guilty on. Am I correct?
Exactly. So he could get the maximum of 10 years. So you give him 2 years. You give him 6 months. He could give him a suspension.
That's important to know because
if
it was a mandatory minimum.
Gene Deal calling back. Gene Deal want to get me. He thought about me rolling him. Here go Gene Deal. Hold up.
Okay, let's go.
Hold up. What is it, Gene?
Don't what is it, Gene? You call me all happy and through that man's in them.
Yeah.
The Rico, and then you talking, you like that's what that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Still facing 15. Bro.
Now that means that a black man is not going to die in prison with a life sentence, and that's the greatest fact.
Who wants a black man to die in prison?
Now we're not going to get into that, but I'm saying that's what would have happened if he would have got that.
Why we can't get into that?
No, I'm just saying, okay, but the way you spearheaded it and went at him looked like you wanted him in prison for life, son.
What you say?
The way you went at him for all them years.
That's the way you see it. But see the thing
about it. Yeah, exactly. That don't mean I'm right, but I'm just telling you how I see it.
Let me just check you right now.
Woo, check me.
You ain't have to go through the things that I had to go through for being honorable to somebody, to looking out for somebody, who risking your life for somebody. That turns around and turns your life upside down, top to turn, by giving your job information and helping them to try to get rid of you from your job that you used to feed your kids off of. You didn't have to see him go at your friends and do your friends the dirt that he did. And when you found out that, you had a different look on him when you seen what he did to Wolf. You understand what I'm saying? What he said to Wolf's mother, you had a different look. You won't come on air and say that to the people, but you will say that behind the scenes. So keep it a buck, nigga.
Say what now? Say that. What you say? I don't get it.
Keep it a buck. I said you get it. You get it because you won't come out there and say how you was upset at him for what he said to Wolf's mother.
Hell yeah! Come on air and say it. Yeah.
You didn't know.
No, I'm saying it now. If you don't think I did before,
You
listen. Let's get that straight. That's what you said.
When you found out what he did to Wolf, no, you found out from other people. When he found out how he played Wolf and did Wolf, you didn't come on the air and say how upset you was, and then but you'll tell me that, bro.
Yeah, no. Okay, let's get it right. All right, let's get it right.
Listen to me.
Right,
listen to me. Listen to me. I want to say this right here, man, because you're getting another free interview.
Woo!
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're getting another free interview, and I don't do free interviews.
You already know we know. You know we know, Nick.
Yeah, because I lost a lot of money. I paid for 6 arbitration hearings. I got my whole thing turned up from my job from bad boy shit. All right, that was my responsibility and everything like that. But he should have kept it a buck from day one. When we sat down, I said, yo, man, whatever I have to do, whatever go down, never tell nothing about my job to nobody. What I do, what is that, and the third. And it didn't happen like that. And I paid the price. You understand? So what I'm just saying to you, brother, is this like this. I don't care, and you know this for a fact. You had enough guys run up on you to tell you, Gene Deal helped me get off parole. Gene Deal showed me.
Facts. I called you one morning, 2 in the morning with that. So where are you going?
You know what I'm saying? I'm going with this. I don't want to see no man that deserve to be on the street in jail. I don't want to see no man to lose his life and be in jail unless he took somebody's life, unless he did something heinous enough for him to be behind bars, bro.
Okay, so all these heinous charges that everybody was saying, Diddy just beat all them and just got transportation. So do y'all leave it alone now that the courts and the government has put on their case? And this is, let me ask the question. Now I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question. Oh, I can't answer the question. All right, go ahead. You're my guest. I didn't ask it yet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ask it.
I'm gonna answer your question.
Yeah, okay, let me ask it.
Say this too, brother.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me just say this to you, brother.
Go ahead.
I know enough that he wouldn't have won no charge. Point blank, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And we ain't gonna get into that.
All right, then
so
and that's 100, and that's the point that I'm making.
And you know,
right there.
And you know.
There you go.
And you know.
And you know, I just saluted you on that if you can't see me. But you already know that I know. But the point that I'm making is that everything that you've been doing for all them years, you know, it feel like it led up to this because it opened the doors for the Cassies and everyone else. So how do you respond to that?
Because God sent me to do that. I told you that long time ago. I told MREC TV that long time ago. I told you in 2004 when I did that own documentary that didn't come up. Then I had a dream that I was supposed to knock down the Empire State Building. And I might not be the one that finished the job, but somebody might come up and have to finish it for me. I don't care about that, bro. If I had to give people strength to come forward with their story, then I gave them strength to come forward with the story. I was never scared to tell mine. How do you feel about that this dude, you know, me and you been close, Unique, for years. Whatever you asked me to do when you was doing your 26 years, I did it. I never made no money in the street with you. I ain't never took no money from you unless I put your name on a flyer to come to a party.
Yeah, and you still owe me $500 for that, nickel.
Okay. As long as I owe you, you'll never go broke. Now, I want to say this to you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at this, bro.
Yeah.
You understand? I never did none of that stuff, bro. Now, I'm looking at this right here. I don't care nothing about this dude, not getting this and not getting that. He wasn't right, and you know he wasn't right, bruh. You understand? I don't know why people sitting up here trying to take up for him. He got away with it, cool, and that's fine and good. But he still gotta pay the price.
Listen, how did you feel when OJ got away with it?
How did OJ didn't do it?
Now the jury said he didn't do it, like the jury said Diddy didn't do it.
Yeah, the jury, he didn't do it. Stuff came out that he didn't do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
She was living with a serial killer. The gardener was a serial killer, and he did it. It just came out.
Allegedly.
You gotta do your research.
Yeah, allegedly. That's what I'm saying.
Hey.
Well, no, I didn't hear about it. I don't want them to try to strike me saying that I'm pushing it.
But what? Yeah. But you ain't never asked him what about?
The whole thing about it is, man, like this dude did a whole lot of things to a whole lot of people and got away with it for doing a whole lot of people dirty. And this right here, man, even the 2 sex trafficking charge, people don't understand. He can get up to 15 years. You better hope that the judge run them concurrent.
Listen, Gene. Hey, Gene, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. I ain't gonna say no names, right? But I'm trying to explain to them that if Diddy get from where I stand, the way I see it, the way my life moves, if Diddy winds up with 10 years in prison or 15 years, to me, that's nothing. I did 5 years in solitary confinement that felt like 5 days. I did 26 years in federal prison that felt like 26 weeks. It didn't feel like 26 years. That's because I walked it down and, I kept my hope alive. That's how I dealt with it. But I say that to say that they saying that, how could you talk about going to jail? Dog, bottom line is, you already know we did enough that karma is a mother. We don't know how she gonna come back. Diddy just had his karma tested. You understand what I'm saying? That was his karma for everything you saying that he did wrong was tested, and God gave him his punishment by letting them find him guilty of those 2 charges instead of the other charges, and that's the way I see it. Now, attack me for that, Gene Deal.
Well, listen to me, bro. I'm not here to attack you and everything like that. I'm not here to debate with you about any of this. I'm just here to say that, man, listen to me. This dude will never be the same on the streets of New York. And if he ever make it back out there, or he don't make it, he make it out of jail or whatever like that, or he don't get time and stuff like that, when I see you niggas hugged up with him, all I'm gonna think is, y'all like sperm on y'all chest too, hugged up with a nigga who likes sperm on his chest.
Dude, what a nigga do in his bedroom, that's his damn business, man.
It don't matter. Like I just said.
Right or wrong.
You understand? If you hugged up with her, if I see you niggas hugged up with them,
listen
on them and stuff like that, and talking about how much you miss them and love them, you feel good about it, I'm going to think you like the same thing he like. Because I'm going to go with that old cliche, birds of a feather flock together.
That seems like you still have a little animosity towards him.
I have no animosity towards him. I hate the nigga, man, for what he did to people that I love.
You see what I'm saying? See, you have hate, but I got love in my heart.
Yo, bro, listen to me. I ain't got love for my enemies, bro. You know what I'm saying? He didn't try. You gonna tell me that I don't? You and Unique, you can stop all that bull crap. You ain't go. You ain't go. A nigga that send niggas to try to kill you. You ain't gonna sit up there and kiss the other cheek and everything like that, and talk about your God is that. Man, get out of here, bro. I could never have love for anybody who wanted to do harm to me, who wanted to take food out my kid's mouth and everything like that, who spread bad shit about me, like never could have love for him.
All right, so
that type of dude.
All right, so what do you say about
go to your God?
Okay, so what do you say about the people that say that you just mad because you asked him for a pension or you asked him for some money and he said no, like with Roger Bonds?
Bro, listen to me. You know better than that.
You know I know better. I'm just saying, what would you say to them is what I said. You know I know better. I'm telling you I know better. I'm asking you, what would you say to them, because that's what they saying.
You listen to me. What you eat don't make me shit, and you can't teach stupid. I'm not out here to clear up anything with them. You know I left Puff on my own accord.
He ain't fire you? He ain't fire you?
You know he ain't fired me. When he did that shit to D Ferg, I said, yo man, I can't fuck with this dude again. He Ferg died the day after my birthday, bro. And you know how close me and Ferg was.
That's my man.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how close it. You know I love hard, Unique. You know that. I go to war with you, bro. You understand? Because I love you. And I lose everything because I love you. You understand? Because that's the type of dude I've always been. And this dude right there, when he hurt somebody who I know that made him popular in Harlem, who I know that helped him when he was down and out, what he gonna do to me? What he gonna do for me, bro? When you see that, you're supposed to get away from that. There's plenty of times, like I said the other day, he came and tried to give me money. He came and tried to buy me bottles and everything like that. And then when I said, yo, man, F that nigga, and he kept on doing that shit after Wolf died and everything, I said, nah, man, I'm not doing that. And then he spoke to Wolf Mother crazy. Nah, I'm going to take it on my own. And if I have to lose everything to go after this cat, I'm going to lose everything. But I proved the nigga that the cliche, the pen is mightier than the sword, the tongue is sharper than the razor. Because look where he did and look what happened to him. He will never be the same in the streets of nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? He will never be the same. People will never look at him the same.
Yeah, you're right. And hey, Gene, and now that I'm agree on with you, because that's my whole point, is that this whole trial was made to humiliate him. Whether he was found guilty or not guilty of everything, he still lost in that aspect because he just got the keys to New York City, had to give it back. You know what it's like? You getting the keys to New York City and you're sitting in New York City's toughest federal prison. Do you know what that felt like in his mind for him to go through that? That's a whole book. That's a movie for him to describe what that felt like.
Yeah.
You know?
And so then, like right now, brother, to be totally honest with you, man, I'm happy with the situation.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, leave that shit alone. Hey, yo, listen. I had a call.
You can't tell me what to do, bro.
You already, hey, listen, I'm glad you said that. Now, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Rob. Somebody told me yesterday, they said, oh, you ain't tell Gene Deal this, you ain't tell Gene Deal that. I said, I can tell Gene Deal whatever the hell I want, but Gene Deal ain't going to listen to me unless Gene Deal want to listen to me. Nobody's going to tell Gene Deal what the hell, to do, and he going to do it. But as a man, I'm going to tell him that he wrong. How many times I stood in front of you and told you that I don't agree with none of that shit. You know what I mean?
But see, that's because you come from a different perspective. You understand? And the problem that I have with dudes who come from that perspective, they don't see not only logic, they don't see the fact of humanity of the whole shit. You understand what I'm saying? Niggas gotta be accountable for what they do and how they do things, brother. You understand? And dudes who come from the streets, sometimes they can't because they stuck on this code that don't even exist. Like a nigga told me, yo, Gene Deal talking all that shit. If he was Italian, he would have been dead. So why y'all ain't kill Sammy?
Now, hold on, stop. Let me give you one, right? Yeah, listen, somebody was telling me that Gene Deal was hitting dudes off with Pac in New York. I ain't say no names because we ain't gonna get in it, but let's just say this female.
I know who you
No, we ain't gonna get into that. But listen, what I'm saying. Listen. We don't listen. We don't do none of. You know I don't do that, Gene. You know I don't do that, Gene. You know, no. What I'm saying is, listen. Could I say what I'm saying? Could I say what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, I told him straight up, and I tell anybody, Gene ain't never sell no drugs that I seen him sell while I was on the street. Gene been a parole officer. Gene come around. You know how you got your parole officer that pull up in the hood and see how you doing. Your parole officer that knock on your door and you got to act like you ain't got nothing and put up your ashtray and your weed pipe. That's what Gene was, bottom line. So when Gene came on the block, Gene didn't come on the block pushing a parole officer. He came on the block and blended in and he enlightened the brothers on the block. That's what I saw Gene do. You know what I mean? And he knew what we was doing, but he ain't say, oh, Unique, I know you're selling 20 keys a day, and I know that. And I'm not going to do it in front of him. You understand what I'm saying?
Bro, if a nigga ain't going to work every day, he ain't got no job, he ain't got no social security credits, but he got a car for every clothes he got, different clothes he had on, you know what he doing.
Exactly.
See what he was doing? Nah, I can't see it, but I can speculate. I can assume
Mm.
he got all the fly chicks, he got all the fly jewelry and everything like that. What do you do for a living? Oh no, he's doing brain surgery, but he ain't never went in the hospital to do it. You're okay, man. Get out of here. So I know what niggas was doing. We all know.
Exactly.
People who live on the block know.
Because the streets speak.
They ain't never seen it. You understand? Dudes is mad, brother, and they gonna make up scenarios about me. They gonna say shit about me. It ain't gonna hurt no way. Cause you know what they gonna get out of it? Nothing but practice. Cause ain't nobody gonna ever tell you that I sold them anything, no drugs. Ain't nobody gonna ever tell you I sold them some weapons. Ain't nobody gonna tell you I ever broke the law like that.
And the same way.
I'll be the nigga.
Hold up, and let me say this. Let me say this. In the same way, when you said that Wolf gave Puffy the money to start Bad Boy, and I said, "Well, I know that could have never happened," and you said what you know. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, as men, we could agree to disagree. I wasn't out here for 26 years. Go ahead, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Go.
Because I'm going to blast your ass for that.
Blast me then.
When I told you that Wolf told me that, and I was right there in the meeting with them, you sit up there when Puff and Wolf had that meeting. Puff promised to give him that $300,000 when he did that Universal deal. You understand? Universal gave that nigga $10 million. He ain't even do an album. But let me just tell you this right here. Ak told you the same shit. And you say, call my man Ak. Ak my man. Oh, come on. Ak said, yo, Unique. It wasn't 300,000. It was 500,000. You understand? Because Corey done put that money together.
Oh, no, we gonna say the names. Leave the names out. We said that before. You're not gonna do the names, team.
All right, but I'm just saying. So don't tell the people that you and then when you say, oh shit, you heard it from your man. See, what happens is that because I was in law enforcement, because I was a different type of dude from y'all, niggas can't believe what I know. But you know for yourself, did you come through Harlem that I wasn't known about it or people didn't bring it to me? For a fact of the matter is when Dougie Fresh came to me and said, me and old boy came to me and said, Unique got a hit out on me for 10,000, man. Could y'all help me out there? Like, y'all get him, y'all talk to him? And then he said something about some Brooklyn dudes. Old boy said, nigga, you fucking with Brooklyn dudes like that? But tell your Brooklyn dudes to do what you got to do then. You know what I'm saying? Unique, our man. And plus, that's Gene, man. You understand? And he looked at me, and I called you up. And I said, yo, Unique, Dougie Fresh want to have a conversation with you, bro. Where you at? Where you at? Unique, calm down, bro. He said, yo, I said, you want to talk to him? He said, where you at? I said, come down on the block. You came down on the block with 4 carloads of dudes behind you. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? I sit out there, them niggas jumped out there, I said, Unique, you're making our block hot. You're making our block hot, Unique. If you worry, you understand how one of your dudes stay with you and stuff like that, you understand Doug ain't got nobody with him that you got to worry about. You understand? You said to me, nigga, I ain't worrying about nobody. You understand? You told them niggas, yo, y'all go down.
Say it again. Hold up. It jumped off. You told them to go down the street. Wait, go ahead. When I say that, run that back. I'm giving you the floor. Then I'm going to speak.
You told them to go down the street. They went down the street in front of the school on 112th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue. You and Dougie Fresh went into the fish store. With Miss Jones was in there too. You understand? Y'all had y'all meeting. Y'all talked like men. Y'all came up with a situation. Whatever it was this, that, and the third. I shook your hand. I shook Doug's hand. Y'all was good. You understand? Now, I'm saying that to say this, brother. I had a lot of situations like that before. That I help people get out of trouble. And I help people, turn their life around. That's what it's about. You understand? You know that Diddy wasn't going to do no shit around me because I was going to tell him. I've always been that type of dude. You understand what I'm saying? So now, I'm saying this to say this. These guys make up shit and they say shit. But they could never tell you who I sold drugs to, who I gave packages to, because it never happened. They want to say that, they want to make those scenarios because them niggas is hurt. They hurt because I was a stand-up dude, and I showed the world what could happen if you be a stand-up dude.
All right, but let me clarify this so you understand. When Dougie came with that, put a hit out on him, that's why I told the homies to go up the block, because that was like our social media back then. You know what I mean? Which is the dude on the sidelines that's hearing different things and they putting what they want to put on it. Dougie never ran with no crew. Dougie was never a violent person. Dougie's a good dude. Dougie's an excellent man. Dougie's one of the best men that I met with morals, principle, and honor. But in my mind, hold on, let me finish. In my mind, you know what I mean? From where I'm from, I'm used to dealing with the worst of the worst. So when somebody takes something from me, even if they just holding on to something that's mine, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get mine. You understand? And I'm gonna take it serious like they trying to take it. So I looked at it like Dougie was from my world of trying to take and get over. But it was never like that. You know what I mean? And I'm mad enough to admit that. But I ain't gonna put no hit out on no nigga. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did I say that to you when you what you call?
Yeah.
Dougie told me this. Dougie told me that.
Yeah.
Dougie said, "Yo, man, you put it." I didn't say that to you.
And no, I know, and that's why I came down there and put a hit out, nigga. What the hell I can't do my damn self? I need to pay another dude to do.
I didn't tell you that.
Because you know I would have responded. Shit. You know, it's phone chopping up. But bottom line, man, you know, we just taking y'all back into it. It is what it is, you know. Gene.
And people don't understand. And dudes, you know, you got these social media cats that want to speak on Gene Deal and don't know that Gene Deal helped more people in the streets, because that's where you're supposed to be at, because them are the ones who need help. You understand? Gene Deal did what he was supposed to do when he was put in any situation that he had to do something.
And that's why since I've been home, I've been working with Grow Up and Grow Out with Tone, London, you know, Clinton, you know, Joseph, everybody, you know what I mean? We all put our work in. G. Anthony, Coco, you know, Orlando, George. I met a lot of good people doing the work of trying to help people, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
that's what it's all about.
Because like you said, that's what it's all about. But we've been there and we done that. But like I said, I'm gonna say it again. Diddy beat the trial, he beat the Rico.
And when you go up there and you visit him and stuff like that, don't forget the baby, y'all.
Now I'm gonna wear a raincoat, nigga. I'm gonna get one of them big yellow raincoats with the yellow hat. All right.
Later, bro.
All right, family. All right. Yeah, but see, that's how men talk. You know, I don't agree with 90% of the crap Gene talk. I tell them that all the time. You don't agree with 90% of the crap I talk. But we're not going to come up here and, you know, because you could agree to disagree. That's what life is about. From where I'm at, like he said, I'm on my side, you on your side. That's why I stay in my lane. I don't come up here and bash nobody. We just had a beautiful show with Hassan Campbell. He gave so much jewels today. Did you see it earlier, Boots, or you just saw it?
Nah, I ain't see it. I gotta catch that.
Shut it down. Huh?
I gotta catch that.
What happened?
I gotta see the show, man. I need to see that.
Yeah, this show was fire. You know, his bail hearing at 5. It's already 2 something. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. If you want, we could come back on at 5. Let them know where you at. I already know it's Street Knowledge Podcast at YouTube, but it sounds better coming from you. Let me and my man get off. Then I'm going to get my man to come up, give his one more time, and we're going to come back on at 5 o'clock. How that sound, family?
That sounds
beautiful, man.
I might run downtown right now, go see Diddy and Chalucci and them right now. I might go downtown. Don't be surprised you see me downtown, because I ain't in jail no more. It's been 26 years, but I could go where I want to go because I work to fight against those predicate acts that Diddy just fought. That's why I know. 1967 kid PR. We already know. That's my man. He been riding with me since day one. Big shout out. Gene is OG and the whole panel. Much respect, chat. Stay positive and free, never give up self, my dude. All right, but tell them where you at, boo. Let's come on, give each one of y'all a chance to tap out. Let's go.
I'm one of Harlem's finest, but I'm down here in NC, repping NC, my second home, Bull City, Raleigh, NC. And y'all catch me at Street Knowledge Podcast, where I give y'all that knowledge, man. And I got a lot to talk about. So y'all come up there, man, and check out what I spoke about Tisa Tell. My boy don't like controversy up here, so we ain't doing that. But it's a good thing, though. It's nothing bad. Y'all come check me out. Street Knowledge, one word, podcast. Your boy Big Boosie, man.
Yo, that joint there could have been one of them shows. Let me get off and get my man up here. Yo, you can take that clip right there and use that for a promo. You did that perfect. You know what I mean? Yeah, let me get out the way. Come on, tell them who you are, where you at, where to follow you. Listen.
Yeah, look, man, my name Mel, man. I'm out of Brooklyn, New York. You know what I'm saying? I'm just starting out. Come support me. Follow me on YouTube, Mel.718, man. I'm just starting out. I accept all critiques and advice. Happy to be here, man. Salute to Unique, man.
All right, you know what it is. All right. Unique Mecca Audio, I came on, let y'all know Diddy beat 2 out the 3 charges. You just got the transportation and all that crap. You know what I mean? Let me put it up here so y'all can see it because everybody been hating so hard. You never know. You know what I mean? So right here, he only got count 3 and count 5 transportation for possession, prostitution. Yo, but right now we're gonna go because they're gonna let us know if they're gonna let him out at 5. I say he's gonna get out at 5. Y'all put in the comments. Y'all let me know if you think Diddy gonna get out at 5. Let me know what's up. Yo, what up, Cap? All right.